Hey guys, today I'll be doing a review on the Ring to Cage Mexican style gel tech training gloves. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Ring to Cage Mexican style gel tech training gloves. Got mine in the black and red colorway. It only comes in 16-ounce lace up. You can get this in 5 different colorways, which you can check out on the Ring to Cage website. It's made of full, genuine leather construction, with the exception of a few of the colorways do utilize mesh on the palm. So if you're looking at some of the other colors, be mindful that they might have a mesh palm, which I know a lot of you guys don't like. So why they decided to go that route with the mesh palm on certain colorways, it's kind of weird, but that's what they decided to do. It utilizes a combination of a latex foam as well as gel padding over the strike surface that has a medium density. And the gloves are manufactured in Pakistan. There's a tag on the inside here which shows that it's made in Pakistan, as well as has the weight on the inside. Now, these are gloves that have been around for a very long time, probably more than 10 to 11 years if I can recall. And these were actually available even before Ring to Cage released the C17 Japanese winning inspired gloves, which have become their most popular glove by far. Matter of fact, you kind of forget that Ring to Cage has other models because the C17s have been so successful for them that anytime anybody brings up Ring to Cage, they automatically think about the C17s, and that has basically become their staple of their brand. But Ring to Cage also has gloves like these. I did a review 10 years ago on their Deluxe MIM, which is basically injected molded foam. They had gel with that. It was like a military green glove, and I gave that to a friend of mine years ago. But they have other models which have always been intriguing, and this is one of those models. This is a glove that I've seen over the years and kind of forgot about, then remembered them again, then forgot about them. Or I would go onto the Ring to Cage website and I would see them and I would be really interested. And I'd be like, you know what, eventually I'm gonna buy those gloves so I could train in them and eventually do a review, but just never pull the trigger, just because there were so many other gloves out at the time that I've been using and trying. So a couple months ago, I decided, you know what, let me go ahead and pull the trigger. I bought the gloves and they've been part of my training rotation ever since, and decided to finally do a review. Now, to me, this is Ring to Cage's take on a Cleto Reyes, a Mexican style glove. And keep in mind, when they initially released these gloves, this was 12 years ago, 10 to 12 years ago, so back like in 2011. And so it was a little bit different then at that time when it came to the glove market, how many brands out there, the competition with the Mexican gloves. I mean, we didn't have any of the smaller boutique brands that you see now, like Bayonetta and New Sporting and all these other brands that you see now that are much more widely accessible at the time. So you often would see brands like Ring to Cage or Ringside, Title kind of come up with a Mexican type of glove. Title obviously would come out with the Pro Mex gloves, which was their version, just so they can kind of put their stake into the Mexican market. And this was their version of that. In terms of sizing and design, I would say for a 16-ounce glove, these are a little bit on the larger end of a 16-ounce glove in terms of height and width. I wish that they made other sizes. Why they only make a 16-ounce version of this glove is kind of bizarre, and why they don't make any other sizes. I don't know why they would do that, but they don't. They have multiple colorways, but then some of the colorways come with a mesh palm. So it's just kind of a weird take on the design and sizing with the glove, but it is what it is. So in terms of the leather on here is the same leather they use on the C17. It's nice, high quality, has really nice thick feel to it, and has kind of a matte finish. You do have that Ring to Cage logo on the back that's printed on the back of the glove. Coming down to the wrist support, another cloth patch in white, black, and military green. It is smooth as well, no sharp edges there. And one thing you also notice, that this has a huge amount of thickness when it comes to the back of the wrist support. You're looking at probably 2 inches in thickness on the back of the wrist support. So they put a lot of emphasis in wrist support with this glove. The exterior foam is a little bit more on the dense side compared to the interior foam, which is definitely more softer and plush to the touch, so it's more comfortable for your hands. It also has this Tricot inner liner. At the time they called it Drymax. Everlast does kind of like a similar thing where they have like the, I guess, the model of the liner they use, and they have it printed on the inside of the liner, but it does say Drymax there. The inside of the wrist has, I'd say, about an inch of soft foam padding on this side as well as on that side as well. So on the thumb side and on the outside, you also have flat laces that are very long with plastic tips at the end, nothing too crazy there. Red piping throughout, white stitching that's double stitched, ventilated holes on top and below of the grip bar as well as on the thumb. The grip bar is really dense. When you push down on it, there's really no give to it, which I like. It means that when you grip down on it, you can really get a nice grip around that bar. So really nice size grip bar. You also have a leather attached thumb, and then on the thumb it also says Gel-Tec to let you know that there is gel padding infused into this latex foam. And you can see that the shape of the glove does resemble the Cleto Reyes gloves, has kind of that tapered Mexican cut to it, which is what they were kind of going for with the glove at the time, and obviously they continue to do so. So from a design standpoint, a really clean looking glove. Quality wise, the gloves are pretty good. I'd say the only area that I would be concerned with, you know, small areas with the stitching right here is a little sloppy at the very end where they double backed on the stitching. The leather quality is held up really nicely, especially over the strike surface. I clean my gloves off after I use them and I put leather conditioner, so try to bring the longevity of the leather out of the glove and try not to beat them up too much. But everything looks good. You know, print on the thumb looks good. The logo is matched up and symmetrical. On the back of the wrist support's good as well. The gloves weighed in at 15.8 or 15.9 ounces. So in terms of weight, they were pretty much on point with weight with each other, as well as being pretty much at 16 ounces, which is great to see, especially with a glove that has gel that's infused into it. Typically gel gloves are usually on the heavier side. A lot of the gel gloves I used in the past from Title Boxing were super heavy and very top heavy gloves. This glove is a little bit on the top heavy side too. Speaking of gel, you can see that it does have a little bit of a sag, and even with that padding down here in the middle, it does have a little bit more weight towards the top of the glove. So you do have a little bit of that floppiness with the glove. Stitching on the palm side looks pretty good. Kind of gets a little off track right here. If you're looking at it kind of crooked, like how it comes up in that direction. Thumb looks good as well. Inside liner, no issues with any type of tearing, nothing exposed. Nothing, no issues there. Back of the wrist right here. Show you guys the stitching as well there. Everything looks pretty clean. Outside edges look really good. Fingertip meets right here. All done really nicely. Inside of the thumb, where the thumb meets the index finger. You know, just all the stress points that you typically look for. Overall look really good with this glove. So I say probably just the stitching a little bit of the floppiness with the glove, and just slightly off weight. But outside of that, a very solid constructed glove. Comfort wise, putting my hand into the glove, liner is very, very comfortable. Wrist support is excellent. You have a nice tight wrist support, especially when you have somebody lace these up for you and you have your hand wraps on. Excuse me. Finger compartment feels great. It's a very nice soft broken in glove, and if you've seen my videos before, you know I love gloves that are broken in. Has a nice soft feel to it. The grip bar feels great. You can really get a nice grip around the grip bar with your fingers. The big drawback, this is the one thing I wish they would correct with this glove, it's going to be the thumb. Now the piping here isn't too tight. It's just the thumb is at an awkward position. So when you're looking at it right now, you kind of think the thumb is right there, and when you make a fist it does, but it just kind of flares out too much. It has kind of like this winged thing with it, and that's back in the day, you know, 10 years ago. A lot of Mexican manufacturers would do that, and now you're starting to see them kind of adjust the thumb to bring it in more. And to me, that's just a big drawback or opportunity with this glove, is that thumb just flares out too much, and it makes it feel awkward. It's almost like you're punching like this. Even when you curl your thumb to make a fist, it just feels really weird in that regard. I wouldn't necessarily say it's uncomfortable from the perspective of it like numbing your thumb out or your thumb jams. It doesn't jam to the tip, which is a good thing. It just feels just kind of like your thumb's at an awkward position, and you really have to like put a lot of effort to try to pull your thumb in. So I wish the thumb was corrected and pulled in more, because that's really the only thing from a comfort standpoint that would change this glove to make it even better. It does have a little piece of neoprene that covers the stitching in the finger compartment, so very comfortable as well there. But overall, a really comfortable glove, surprisingly. And the only thing is just that thumb. If they could correct that, it'd be perfect. Protection and performance. My favorite feature of this glove is going to be the padding. Now, when you push down on the padding, it does feel on the medium to soft density side. So your initial thoughts is, oh, this is going to be more like a puncher style glove. I can really feel my knuckles pierce through, which you can. But with that being said, that gel layer also gives you a layer of shock absorption that you typically wouldn't get with other gloves that are this soft. So it's almost deceiving in the fact that it is a softer glove, but when you're using it on a really dense, heavy bag that doesn't have a lot of give, a lot of times you kind of get worried that you're going to get sore knuckles. You're just going to feel it, right? You're going to feel it throughout your entire forearm. You might feel a little bit of tendonitis right here. Tennis elbow is what they call it. A lot of boxers get it just because they're throwing so many punches over and over and over. But it's usually on this inside elbow piece right here. At least that's where I have my issues with tendonitis. But with this gel padding, it really makes a big difference. And you wouldn't think it would, but it really does. So you can really punch with confidence and not feel like you have to pull your punches because you're afraid to do damage to your hands. And man, you can really just lay into it. And it feels very satisfying landing on those two front knuckles. That gel to me is the biggest game changer, and this is the reason why that's probably my favorite feature of this glove is that latex gives you that Mexican style pop and feedback that you're looking for, that compression, but that gel gives you that shock absorption. So you're kind of combining the both to get the best of both worlds. Again, just the only thing I would say that I don't like is going to be the thumb. Cost-wise, the gloves are $99.95, so if you want to round up, $100. I definitely think it's a unique glove. You know, full genuine leather. My biggest complaint with this is there's not many colorways and there's no other sizes. It's just 16 ounces. They don't have a Velcro version, so it's very limited. But I will say this: if you're looking for something that is 16 ounces, this is one of those gloves that's gonna be very has a very specific buyer. If you look for something at 16 ounces that's only lace up, and you want a Mexican style glove that looks Mexican style with a shape, with latex foam, but you want something a little bit more protective as far as shock absorption, then these are going to be a great pick for you. I wish the thumb was corrected, but you know, at $100, I think Ring the Cage will do like Black Friday deals. I know we're kind of far from Black Friday, but you might be able to score a discount and get these discounted. Then I definitely think it would be worth it. But you know, the full genuine leather version without the mesh palm, I definitely think so, compared to, you know, what's out there at the price point of $100. If you can score a good deal, then definitely think these gloves would be worth it. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know what to do. Put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Ring the Cage Mexican style Gel Tech training gloves. See you guys later. Peace.